much, sir. So I'll try and keep it very short. So, I mean, I want to talk more about this process of creating startups. So it's often been a kind of an ignored piece in many forums is the process of entrepreneurship. But I think it is something which is rapidly changing. And from what we've heard since morning, the only thing that we get to realize is that what we develop today is probably not going to work tomorrow. And what we develop for tomorrow might not be valid day after. So, which means that there is going to be a necessity for a continuous innovation to happen. And when we talk about continuous innovation, I think we are talking about a lot of players who need to come together. I think the first big player is the government, in terms of the government being an enabler to bring in, I think, lightweight regulatory frameworks and bring in policies which are flexible so that it's easy for a startup to actually begin, the ease of starting a business and the ease to access resources and facilities and so on. The second biggest piece on where there is a challenge that we have is how do we bring the education system, the corporate, and the other fringe players in the market, to work in unison to ensure that these innovations happen. So today we have some excellent examples of people working in silos. You have a lot of academic institutions doing great research, a lot of publications, patents and so on, corporate doing its own job, and then the fringe players like the investors, venture capitalists doing their own thing. But then a concentrated kind of an effort wherein we are able to bring together these players and ensure that this continuous innovation is possible is one of the challenges that we need to overcome, and we need to overcome that very fast so that we can then introduce imaginative solutions. And this is where, again, I think we have found that the incubators or the accelerators or such kind of mechanisms, I think would play a great role if, with a good support policy from the government, these incubators can then bring together these various ecosystem players and ensure that this innovation happens. So just to give you a statistics, I think in India, we are way behind what the developed world talks in terms of incubators. For example, if you look at US and China, they have 1,000+ incubators. If you look at European Union, it's about 800+ incubators. And then you look at Korea and Brazil, they have about 400. So in India, of course, incubation was started much earlier than many of these countries. We began this program way back in 1985. So we have a rich experience of about 29 years. So Department of Science and Technology, and then later the Department of IT, and then the Department of Biotechnology, then MSME. But unfortunately, all these put together itself, and the private accelerators, incubators which have come like 91, still India's number is only about 150. So we are way behind what is going to be an essential parameter or a mechanism that can ensure that such kind of innovations happen so that we are able to do whatever is good for the Indian society. So that's all I wanted to basically point out, that one, we need a good enabling policy in the government, and then we need a synergistic approach between academia, industry, and the fringe players like the investors. And third, of course, we need to have a population that is high on confidence. And this young population which has to go high in confidence can do it only when they're equipped with the right kind of skills. Thank you, sir.